Okay, what's the plan today? Well, continuing on the locker bypass job, I'm going to go with a 2-wire cable. I need 2 wires to the 2 individual locker relays underneath the hood. So, all right, I'm in the floor well of my Jeep here on the driver's side. You can see one of the holes right there through the firewall. You can see I have duct seal and so forth. I fill that up. I want to get a snake through there or a long tie wrap, and that way I can pull the cable through and get it up to the console. Work it up through here and then get it into this area. So I just thought today we'll get the conductor pulled, the cable, and then I can also do some more looking around as to where I'm going to put the safety switch somewhere here. You can see I have very little room right here in this area, and this piece actually comes out, so it's not ideal to put it in this piece. This just pulls out and you can get underneath the steering column. So it may end up being over on this side. Another option that I could do, it won't have a lock on it, but I have extra Daystar switches down here that aren't being used. I got rock lights, my chaser light underneath these are my hood lights in my vents, the red LEDs, and I have these 2 spares. I could use one of these switches and just close it and let that go to ground, but I'm still more prone to use the switch with the latch on it, because sometimes I bump these as well. All right, a look underneath the hood. We got the hood up against the top of the Jeep, folded all the way back on the roof. And the relays that we're looking for are right here. According to the research I've done, the relay right here in the front is the front locker. The one in the back is the rear locker. So you can see I've got a lot of extra wiring going on. I want to cut some tie wraps, move some of that away. And I got to get to the bottom down there and open up those wiring harnesses and get to the purple wires. So the idea would be for the 2-conductor cable. The 2-conductor cable could be tie wrapped. I could cut all these tie wraps and run them nice. You can see there's various conductors here for my switch pod lighting. You can see the board right over there for the switch pod. Another option, the cable might actually fit inside this rubber seal right here. It looks like it's hollow. I might even be able to fit the cable through there and bring it over to the driver's side. So, but I don't think I need to remove the battery. I think there's enough room to get in here. I just got to cut some tie wraps. All right, what I'm choosing to do is I'm going to use this rubber seal that runs along the back of the engine compartment. You can see I put a snake in there. And on the other side, I have a nice 2-wire cable. I'm just going to go with that approach rather than individual conductors. So inside of here, I have 2 conductors, and that'll work out nice. This will come around and make a loop and get down into the to go through the firewall. So should work out pretty good. All right, there's a crazy bulldog right there. So pretty simple. The cable, you can see it just goes right through this. This thing is hollow in the center, worked out nice. Good quick way to pull a cable through. So now I got to get a snake through the firewall opening and get that cable pulled through and get that up into the locker switch compartment area. And then we'll look more over here in regards to these 2 relays. You can see I got a lot of stuff going on right down here, but there's a little push pin right here. I'll try to get this off, see if there's some room to move these relays and get at the wiring harnesses underneath and get some of the electrical tape off of those 2 harnesses to expose the purple wire that I need to tap into. All right, just going to take a moment to show you. Right here is I just use a tie wrap. Take a long tie wrap, I stick it through that hole down in the firewall where all those cables are, and now I'll be able to tie my cable to this, electrical tape it, and then pull it through. All right, you can see I took the 2 relays off of this piece of metal right here. It had a plastic clip on it. And what they do is there's a bunch of individual conductors that go into the base of the relay, and they use friction tape. So I got to very carefully cut some of this tape and expose the purple wire. I saw the one here for the back locker right away, but I got to find the other one. So Wire's tight, little awkward for room, but it can be done with some patience. All right, the kit gives you these little taps right here. Basically, you put the wire in there and you squeeze this around the wire. The wire goes right in there in that portion, and you squeeze it till it clips and it penetrates the insulation. And then when it's going to give me right there, when that's all closed up, it's going to give me an opening for a male spade connector to go right inside there and make the connection. Now, I'm not going to lie to you here. This was a big pain in the ass. You really don't have a lot of room, but if you just take your time with a razor knife, those individual conductors that go to each locker relay are wrapped up with friction tape. You just got to take your time. Using a razor blade, I was able to make some cuts in it gently and just peel it back where I can get enough room to put one of those connectors around each purple wire and close it shut. Then this can go back into position like so. And then the last step would be when I'm ready, which won't be today, I'll strip this wire back and use my two conductors, one for the front relay, one for the rear relay for the lockers. And then this needs to get clipped back up like that. So not bad. I think I'm just gonna put the clips on and then we'll work on fishing the wire up to the switch location. All right, you can see I got one of the clips all set. So when that relay goes back up there, see how the spade terminal, it's all set to receive the spade terminal. Now I got to do the same thing with the front locker, the one towards the front. So yeah, basically you just line it up, and I used a pair of channel locks and just squeezed it, and it kind of snaps into place. So that should take care of that one. Okay, here we go. The two relays are mounted. I'm going to tell you I didn't like this in the sense of I just thought it was a huge pain in the ass. You know, you're only dealing with like 2 inches of wire, and to try to get in there, I ended up using channel locks to pinch the connector and get them to close. They are closed. You can see this little piece of plastic here broke a little bit on that one, but the spade terminal will go right in there and make a good connection. So the important thing is that they are clipped shut. And you can see that they just go around the purple wire on each one. So now, not today, but another time, I'm going to strip these wires, form them in there nice, put the spade connectors on them, and then they'll be attached in there. And then when either of those wires goes to ground through the switches and the safety switch, then obviously the lockers should engage accordingly. So that's it for today in regards to under the hood. Now I want to start working the wire. Right now I got the wire, you can see it right here in the floorboards. We got to snake that up through here. And then once I get it up in here, then I'll just let it come out here for now, and then that'll be another day. So this is a couple good things. Snaking the wire was easy. Accessing the two purple wires underneath the locker relays was almost a joke. It was pathetic. I didn't really like it. I thought it was very, very difficult to get at those wires. I think the connectors they give you are, yeah, they're maybe adequate, but there's probably something better on the market. And for the life of me, for $70-something, I don't know why the hell they can't give you a couple, 2, 3 spares. So I thought that was kind of ridiculous as well. But in the end, hopefully it's all going to work out okay. All right, relatively easy. That wire comes up through. It's tie wrapped to various cables that go up here for all kinds of things that I have in the Jeep. And then it just comes around through. We've got our locker switch plug here in the go position to go back in. Then these two conductors here will get stripped and go to the switches when that time comes. Right now I'm just going to coil it up and put the cover back on this. All right, you can see the side cover, the side piece is all snapped into place. So the next thing will probably be another day is going to be wiring the locker switches, getting those wired. But first I still have to find a location for the enable switch. So once I find that, I can mount it, because don't forget the ground is going to go through the enable switch before it gets to ground. And I need to grab 12 volts. So I got to get 12 volts probably off of one of these pre-wired switches right here, and then bring that up through for the LED lights. So it's coming along pretty good. You can see I've got a set of switches there. I also have switches up top. And yes, I could have used one of these switches and just went to ground. In other words, just run the ground through any of these switches for my enable. But I've chosen to go with the covered safety switch. So I'll just find a location for it and get that mounted as well.